Hello everyone and welcome to the Phantom Thief 1-on-1 video series. The series that showcases all the Phantom Thieves in depth. Each episode focuses on one party member in the order they join the team. These videos contain spoilers regarding endgame combat spells of each party member, so if you want to have the surprise of discovering all of their abilities, I recommend you have a look at the videos when you reach the end of the game. We start the first episode with the very first party member joining your team and the one character that first sets the group in motion, Morgana. Morgana is a cat-looking creature who has mysteriously lost all his memories except the ones concerning the metaverse. He clearly is a mascot of Persona 5 after Koromaru and Teddy being the respective mascots of Persona 3 and 4. While Teddy was a very goofy character that rarely gets serious, Morgana is the opposite and always tries to appear very serious but sometimes lose control and get very childish, especially when it's come to finding treasures. Morgana appears as a normal cat and only the people who heard him talking at least once in the metaverse can understand what he says under his cat form in the real world. Morgana follows the main protagonist everywhere and serves as a guide to help the player know what to do. Because of that, Morgana is the only party member with whom the confidence levels will go automatically up as the story goes on. His special bonuses as confident are to give access to craft infiltration tools, but also to give a chance to Joker to steal items to enemies whenever he uses his melee weapons. In battle, Morgana serves essentially as a support and is by far the easiest character to play for two reasons. First, it's hard to take a wrong decision with Morgana, as his role is to simply keep everyone alive and nothing else. Secondly, the fact that Morgana's confidence level improves automatically makes him very reliable no matter what, even if you don't care about him that much. He uses swords as melee weapons and slingshot as ranged weapons. The slingshot is a very simple ranged weapon carrying by default 15 projectiles for a maximum of 5 used in a single turn. Morgana's element is the wind, giving him access to all Garu-based spells, a resistance to wind, and a weakness to electricity. Morgana is the only party member to have access to all Dia, Media, and Recalm spells and its evolutions. On top of that, he has a high SP pool and can cure the ailments Dizzy, Forget, Sleep, and Hunger of the entire party thanks to Mepatra. He learns a single physical move being Lucky Punch that deals low damage but with a higher chance of critical hit. This serves mainly to knock down enemies to go for a baton pass or an eventual hold up. His ultimate move is Salvation, a spell that fully restores the HP of the entire party and cures all regular ailments. The problem is that this move costs 48 SP, so it is best not to keep it and favor Mediaran, restoring the HP of the party for a cost of 30 SP instead. This example shows the biggest problem with Morgana, his exponential SP consumption throughout the course of the game. This problem starts to show around half of the game when Mediarama isn't enough for Morgana to heal correctly the party and forces him to use Mediaran instead. Morgana is then condemned to use 30 SP whenever he wants to help the entire party, or 18 SP if he wants to heal a single ally. In the meantime, Joker can have the passive skill Divine Grace on one of his personae. This passive gives a 50% boost in all healing spells used with the persona carrying the passive, making Mediarama enough to heal the entire party. In comparison, Mediarama costs 12 SP, which is less than half the cost of Mediaran. This comparison shows how much Joker can be a much more efficient healer than Morgana, who is meant to heavily specialize in healing. So now that we showed the biggest points of problem with Morgana game style, it is time to talk about which skills to keep. With Morgana being heavily focused on support, I will suggest a support focused build for Morgana. First, you may notice from experience that you won't use Magaru and its evolution that often. The fact is that you don't often need to knock more than 2 enemies weak to wind, and Garu and its evolutions are more efficient in terms of SP than Magaru and its evolutions, as long as you don't need to hit more than 2 enemies. And since we don't want to use Morgana as an offensive character, we don't need to keep Magaru and its evolutions at all. Secondly, let's talk about the key spells of Morgana, Dia, Media and its evolutions. Here we could have the opposite reasoning and say that one use of media or its evolution costs less than 4 uses of dia to heal the entire party. That is correct, but it doesn't always work like that. First of all, you won't always need to heal the entire party, as many attacks are single target only, or some party attack will be resisted better by some party members, or even entirely dodged. Secondly, outside of battle, if you want to avoid to waste all your SP to heal, especially if you use auto recover, it is highly recommended to have dia and its evolutions. For that last reason, you could, if you wanted, to intentionally keep Diarama, Diaran and Mediaran, since Diarama costs 6 SP while Diaran costs 18 SP, and you won't always need to entirely heal an ally outside of battle in particular. The choice is up to you, but you would be surprised at how much longer you can stay in a palace by keeping Diarama at the end of the game. The next spell is a no-brainer, but you could avoid it if you want. Recalm and Samarecalm allows Morgana to revive with half HP or full HP respectively a fallen ally. While these two spells are incredibly useful, they also can be entirely avoided if you choose to rely entirely on items. Though money feels often very tight, it is actually feasible to rely on reviving items, as you will gain a lot of those for free, and buying them gets not so expensive as you gain more and more money. But honestly, for the comfort and the fact that Samarecalm revives with full HP, I recommend that you keep Recalm and replace it later with Samarecalm when you get it. Our 6th slot will be Lucky Punch and its evolution Miracle Punch. As explained earlier, the idea behind these skills is to score a critical hit as often as possible to make a baton pass or get access to hold up more easily. This can be particularly useful against enemies having no weakness at all. These two skills also serve as a filler for the turns where Morgana have nothing to do. Basically when the party is very healthy and you don't want to waste SP or use your weapon. The 7th slot will be for Masukunda. You can keep Wind Boost before you have access to Masukunda. Not my favorite spell in the game by any means, Masukunda lowers the accuracy and dodge of the enemies so your party can dodge enemies' attack more easily and hit more often, in particular with multi-hit physical skills. The last and 8th slot is first for whatever you want until Morgana's Confidant is maxed and learns Electricity Dodge, tripling the chances of dodging electric attack to avoid that enemies abuse Morgana's electricity weakness. Without spoiling anything, Morgana's Confidant is extremely long to max, so you can use this slot as you see fit and then replace it when you get the dodge passive. You probably realize that I'm not suggesting to use Wind Boost and Wind Amp in particular, as again, you won't use Morgana offensively that often, and if you do, you will run out of SP to heal extremely quickly. And trust me, you will need Morgana's SP so badly. To recap, here is my suggested endgame build for your favorite kitty cat. Garudine, Miracle Punch, Diarama, Diaran, Mediaran, Samarecalm, Masukunda, and finally Electricity Dodge. And that's it for our focus on Morgana aka Mona. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like under the video and subscribe to the channel for more Persona 5 content. Any feedback and constructive criticism is welcomed in the comment section below. You can also share with everyone what type of video you would like to see on the channel, and I will do my best to adapt the content. Have a very good day and see you soon.